ain't working for him, and he's had some back surgeries. Your back is a big part of playing golf. So look at Tiger Woods. He hasn't made it back since his back surgery yet. So, he's behind the 8 ball. But I love the fact that he's competitive. He's trying to find something to channel that competitive energy into.
Yeah, and I don't think he's completely done with football. Honestly, I think he's gonna want to. If somebody calls, if for some reason Dak goes down with an injury, I think we're going to see Tony Romo come out of nowhere and try to play. The only thing is, if it's like after week 6 or if it's after halfway through the season, I don't think you can factor that in of him coming in and playing, because he hasn't played, he hasn't played in almost like 3 years now. So when you look at all that, him trying to come back, to me, just wouldn't be logical if it's after a certain amount of games.
Yeah, I just think he's just hanging up. The football thing is just over. It's over. And not because he can't play, but and physically he can't play. Like, the dude has all the talent, he has the skills, but physically, man, like you don't like. I know you love the game, but you at some point you gotta realize that, man, you like one hit away from like being in a wheelchair at this point, man, and you just gotta walk away while you can still walk. Like, as good as you are, and as good as the Cowboys line is. Oh my God, the Cowboys line is great, but all you need is one missed assignment. One missed assignment and your career can be over, period. So I think it's
yeah, I think it's for him. I think it's the right choice is to shut it down. And I totally agree with that. All right, so let's get into some other stuff from this week. We got the son of Ray Lewis, Rashad Lewis. Yes, his name is Rashad Lewis. He is transferring to Maryland. And with that, I think that he may have a better shot to play in Maryland. He had a pretty good situation where he was at last year. And I think with his ability, I think he's going to have a shot to probably get more playing time in Maryland. And I'm looking for him to show up and do something big, especially for his pops. I think that's just a great example of an NFL player that he had. Also in the chat room, and I apologize for all these technical difficulties with this phone call, but in the chat room we got Denise, Milk and Cookies. Also we got DJ Queen, and we got Sluggo in the building. Appreciate everybody for jumping in. All right, so what's your thoughts on these playoffs? Let's skip over to the NBA here real quick. What's your thoughts on these playoffs? Old man Ginobili, you got John Wall playing lights out. You got James Harden choking. So what's your thoughts?
Man, there's some series that I've actually enjoyed. This Boston and Washington series has been a really, really good series. You see two teams that are really battling, almost evenly matched. I think they're evenly matched teams. Guard play, you think about the NBA, you think about the point guard position, man. Point guard position is like the most dynamic position in the NBA right now. And, you can't get a greater matchup than Isaiah Thomas and John Wall right now. You see, once you get to the finals where you see Curry and hopefully Curry and Kyrie Irving, right? But this is a great matchup, man. This is just good basketball, hard basketball, playoff basketball. They're being physical. You know, they're putting everything on the line. You look at that 3 that John Wall hit last night. Oh my God, who thought he was gonna make that? Right?
Right. Yeah.
You know, so it's great. And then even seeing, IT just missed the shot at the end of the game. You know, who thought he was gonna miss that? You know, so you had some good series. Cleveland has basically cakewalked through the playoffs so far. And even the Warriors have too. I think, the Warriors got a little more of a challenge with Utah for a high second. But for the most part, nobody's really been able to beat these two teams. And so we're just kind of waiting for this next matchup. Hopefully the Spurs give the Warriors a challenge. You saw Ginobili kind of turn the hands back, turn the time back with that great block on Harden. And I think he just took Harden's, I don't know what happened to Harden. Like the Monstars came and took his powers or something. I don't know, because game 6, he didn't look like Harden. Right? He didn't look like Harden at all. I mean, if you told me that Harden was going, in game 6, Harden was going to score and take 11 shots, I would have took your bet. That is not James Harden. James Harden is not going to take 11 shots. But he only took 11 shots. So something's going on there. Almost felt like he pulled that Kobe move. If people remember Kobe in the finals against Boston, he decided to not shoot the ball all of a sudden. And so, like, the whole second half, he didn't take a shot. I don't know. I don't know what was going on with him. But definitely, Houston gave them a run for their money for a second, and San Antonio prevailed. So I'm excited to see this next series, San Antonio and Golden State. And I want Washington to win because I think Washington actually has a better chance of beating Cleveland. But I'm not sure if Washington can get one in Boston. So
yeah, I don't know about that.
We will see.
We'll get into that later in the show. We'll be talking playoffs. But my pick is the Celtics. I think the Celtics are going to win this Game 7 in Boston. I definitely see it going down that way. And I think the next round of games is going to be even better because we really only had 2 quality games in this round right here. And to me, it's going to be interesting how everything goes down. And I can't wait to watch it. It's been a couple of really good games and a lot of average games, but I'm looking forward to what's coming up. All right, so real quick, we're going to play a game called Who's Staying and Who's Going. Everybody out there in the chat room, make sure you join in. We're going to go down this list of free agents, people opting out, and we're going to say who's going and who's staying. Number 1, we got Gordon Hayward, who opts out. And he's saying he wants to come back, which I think he does. I think he wants to come back. There's some good things going on in the world of Utah Jazz. So will Gordon Hayward come back? I'm going to say no. What's your thoughts?
I think he stays.
Okay.
I think he stays. I think Utah recruits him hard. I think he sees that there's a good situation in Utah for him. Utah has continued to develop talent. They're doing it the right way. They're doing it through the draft. And he just has to be patient. Hopefully he's patient. But I think he stays. If he leaves, look for him to go to, like, the Clippers, for example, who really needs a small forward. I could say Clippers make a run at him. Or a team like Phoenix possibly making a run at him.
Yeah, that to me, that's an interesting one. Also, to me, this one is a no-brainer, and this is Kyle Lowry. A lot of people saying he's going to stay. Things are still good in Toronto, but after that sweep, I got a feeling that Kyle Lowry's gone, and if he decides to stay, I don't know why he would, because you're not going to get past the Cavs. I don't care who you think you are. I don't care what skills you think you have. You're not getting past LeBron. So you might as well just go to the Western Conference and team up with a team to match up against the Warriors. But what's your thoughts on Kyle Lowry?
Kyle Lowry's in a bad situation, and let me explain why. Right? in the East, he's considered one of the best point guards in the East. And when you look at contract negotiations and things like that, all NBA teams, all-star appearances, things like that, those play a role in the money that you make. Kyle Lowry will never make an all-star team in the Western Conference, period. He will not. There's too many guards. It's impossible, right? And so that might be a factor in him not leaving to come to the Western Conference, because he will never. You got Harden, you have, Curry, you have Westbrook. Those 3 slots are automatically taken, and then you still have, Chris Paul, you have Dame Lillard, who is a great guard, by the way, and cannot make the All-Star game or all NBA team. So, it's not a good situation for him as far as financially when you look at those contract situations and things like that. So I don't see him coming to the West. Now, Eastern Conference, I do see him leaving Toronto, and more so because Toronto just isn't built to play against Cleveland. They're not built the right way. They have no shooting. No outside perimeter shooting. Outside of DeMar DeRozan, who's a mid-range player, they have no outside shooting. And so you're never going to beat Cleveland if you can't shoot the 3 ball. You got to be able to shoot the 3 ball. So I can see him having a change of scenery. They've been reporting that Philly has been interested in him, and he's interested in Philly. I think it's actually a good fit for him. Philadelphia looks like they're a point guard away from actually being a solid basketball team.
Yeah, and that's honestly where I had him down as going to Philly, because I believe he's from there, and that seems like an ideal spot for him. Let's go to the next one. Rudy Gay. Rudy Gay, staying or going? To me, this one's very clear that he's leaving. Sacramento is a complete dumpster fire. They don't have anything there. They don't have any big pieces. I think he's gone.
Yeah, I think Rudy Gay is going too. But again, this is another player where he's Rudy Gay is a really talented player on both sides of the ball. He's not, he's a great offensive player. He can be a great offensive player when he wants to, and he's a solid defender. This is a player that I can see. You look at teams who are looking for that extra piece, that one piece that they feel like will get them on. Rudy Gay as your third option on a team, pretty good. That's a option. So the Clippers, who has had an issue on forward position,
yeah. I think Rudy Gay doesn't benefit him anything for staying with Sacramento at all. All right, so one more, and it's actually going to be a 2-parter right here. Blake Griffin and Chris Paul, both staying, both leaving. To me, the Lake Show, Lob City is getting ready to get broken up, and I think both of them are leaving.
Both? You think both are leaving?
I think both leaving. They can't get out of the West. They can't get out of the West, and Blake Griffin has been like the black sheep of that team. So here's my take on them too. I feel like Doc Rivers has enough pull to keep them both. Right? I feel like Doc Rivers has enough influence to be like, yo guys, let's make another run at this. And also using the DeAndre Jordan, contract as leverage a little bit, like, yo, we promised DeAndre Jordan, this, and we were going to stay together, brotherhood, all this type of stuff, So I think he might try to push that whole brotherhood, persona, whatever pitch to keep them there. What I do think they need to do is I think they need to re-sign Chris Paul and let Blake Griffin go. Blake Griffin cannot stay healthy. And it's over. Like, that combination of him and Chris Paul needs to no longer exist, because Blake Griffin does nothing but hurt the team. He cannot stay on the floor. And it's over. Trade him, get some value for him, re-sign him,
and trade him off for a couple picks to a team who's looking for a long